Let's see how to create network ACL rule. So we need to go to the ACL blade. So here we can see the ACL details. So as I told, by default, Amazon Web Services comes with the default ACL. As you can see, default, which is S. So if you go to the default rule, you will have some inbound and outbound rule. As you can see, the traffic which is to the internet, which is allowed by default, it means all the traffic by default is allowed. So if you go to the outbound rule also, all the destination are allowed. So it means nothing is blocked with the by default rule. So let's try to access our VM and we will try to modify this particular rule. So as you can see, I have a virtual machine which is demo-vm, which is in a subnet. So let's go to the networking and we'll see on which subnet it is having. So it is in prod-vda subnet. If I go to the subnet, let's see what is the network ACL rule attached to this subnet. So this is the subnet. So if I go to the network ACL, we have a network ACL attached. So this is the network ACL. If I click this network ACL, we will see the default rules. So if I go to the inbound rule, it is saying that all traffic which is allowed. So that is the reason I am able to take remote of that particular virtual machine. If you can see 54.235.234.183. So this is the virtual machine which is demo-VM. So if I alter this inbound rule, let's imagine I'm going to edit this and I will say by default all traffic should be denied. Then I should be get disconnected from this particular demo-VM. So let's do the changes. So the moment I changed this and I am blocking all the inbound connection, it means nothing can reach my VM. So my existing IDP connection will get lost. So as you can see, it is no more having the IDP connection. I cannot do anything. So it is just lost the connection because I am blocking all the inbound traffic to my virtual machines. So now I will go back to the edit inbound once again and I will allow this once again so that now I'm allowing all the traffic to my virtual machines. So I'll click on save. If I go to my virtual machines and if I wait for some time, it will reconnect. Why? Because I have allowed my traffic. So as you can see, now I can do refresh and I can access the virtual machines. So this is the demonstration of inbound rule. So in this particular virtual machine, I will open some website, for example, https double colon www.flipkart.com. So now it is opening without any issue. Let's try to find out the IP address range of flipkart.com and we will try to block this using ACL rule. So I'm going to open command prompt here. So the Flipkart address range is 103.243.32.90. So I'm going to block the range of IP address belongs to flipkart.com. So I'm going to the outbound rule. I will edit the rule and then I will add a rule. I'm going to give a preference as 90 and custom TCP. So the port range I'm going to enter 443 and IP address is this particular IP address. So I'm going to block the traffic. Click save change. So we need to enter in the proper format, which is /32 if it is a single IP address, and we'll click on save change. So now I have blocked the outbound connection to the flipkart.com IP address. So if I go back to my particular VM and if I try to access this particular flipkart.com, it should not able to access it. Why? Because I have blocked the traffic. So let's see the behavior. So it is trying to access, so it will wait for some time and it will timed out. So this is how you can block outbound traffic as well using network ACL. So let's go back once again and let's allow the traffic and we will see what is the behavior. I'm going to allow it once again and I will save the change. Now I'll go back and I will refresh once again. So it may take some time just to refresh and eventually see it opens. So this is how you can control the incoming and outgoing traffic using network ACL on the subnet level. As you can see, it is attached to subnet, not instance. So whereas security group are attached to instance, not to the subnets. So this is the brief about network ACL in Amazon Web Services. So if you wanted to create a new ACL and if you wanted to attach to the subnet, the procedure is very simple. So you need to go to the VPC console, and here under network ACL, we need to create a new network ACL. For example, I'm going to give a name as demo-ACL, and then you need to select the VPC. So in this example, this is my VPC, which is 10.125.0.0, and then we can create a network ACL. So as you can see, so now we have created the network ACL. So if you go to the ACL, which is just now created, which is demo-ACL, and if you go to the inbound rule, as you can see, by default, everything is blocked. This is in a custom ACL which you created. So if you go to the outbound rule, also everything is blocked. So subnet association, there is no subnet associated to this particular demo ACL. If you wanted to associate, you just need to click on edit subnet, and then you need to select which subnet you wanted to associate. So as of now, all the subnets by default will associated with the default ACL. But if you wanted to associate it with the custom or your own ACL, then you need to select this so that it will override the default ACL. So I'm going to associate this with my ACL. So I'll click on save changes. So now my subnet is associated with demo ACL, where I don't have any rules for my incoming and outbound traffic. So earlier I connected to my VM using IDP. Now this may get disconnected. So as you can see, this is in a hung state. So now it lost connection. As I told, if you wanted to have a connectivity, you need to define the rules. So this is how you can create a new ACL and you can associate that to the subnet.